Eric, this is the moment.
Yes, it is. It's our favorite moment. Now we get a taste.
Okay.
Yes.
Explain me.
So the 4 beers we're going to be tasting today is kind of an array, a mix of what we do here at Firestone Walker. I love agave spirits. I drink lots of tequilas and mezcals. So I always try to have a beer that I age in tequila. And I try to bring in some of the best extra añejo tequila, being that it's going to age at least 6 to 8 years in barrels, usually ex-bourbon barrels. So I bring some barrels in, and I drink a lot of cocktails at home. My wife and I love cocktails, so a lot of my inspiration when I make a lot of my beers is based off a cocktail. It's tequila, it's orange juice, and it's grenadine. I designed a beer, aged it in the extra añejo tequila barrels for about 18 months, really imparted that beautiful, herbaceous, minerality, kind of fruit characters of the tequila into the beer. And then I also aged some beers in some ex-bitter barrels. We have a distillery in Kentucky that uses ex-bourbon barrels to make bitters, and I get orange bitter barrels from them. So I aged some of the beer in the orange bitter barrels to mimic the orange juice used in the cocktail. So it's really a true inspiration to the cocktail, but 100% beer. First thing, visually you always kind of want to look, as you know. It's nice to see the clarity, the slight pinkish hue from the hibiscus to mimic the sunrise for the cocktail itself. It still has a nice retainable head on it, and then those aromatics are just popping out. A good mouthfeel, a good texture, kind of coats the tongue, and just the flavors are just bouncing all over the tongue. The next one, mezcal. I love mezcal. I love smoky spirits. So what I did here, again, based off a cocktail, one of my favorite, I have a lot of favorite cocktails, you're gonna learn.
I know.
It's called a mezcalita. It's mezcal, it's a fresh orange juice, fresh lime juice, a little bit of agave syrup to add a little bit of sweetness to kind of play with the smokiness of whatever mezcal you're using. And then you always rim your glass with tajin. Tajin's a mixture of dried chili peppers ground up and sea salt. Phenomenal. So I brewed a beer. I actually used a good amount of corn in there, aged it in the mezcal barrels, some orange bitter barrels, and some fresh lime juice. And then we used agave syrup to make this beer. And that's kind of that beer there. Get the color as well. The base beer, the malts we used, the caramel malts, but we also used a lot of agave syrup, and that agave looks like really dark, robust maple syrup, and that's kind of what the beer looks like.
Like it's a little more red. Yeah, so different. The smell is so...
Very good observant. You get them all, and you get that slight like soil character, that slight like peatiness, like smoke note.
A little more sweet.
Little more sweet from the agave syrup, and you get a slight lingering saltiness, salinity, and spice from the chili pepper and sea salt, and then the orange.
Wow!
And again, a hint of acidity from the limes. And we juiced our own limes and used the lime peel to influence the aromatics. So there's a lot going on in here, and this is a really fun beer to drink because as it warms up, a lot of beers you want to drink really cold are these barrel-aged beers that we make here. You want to start them off at room temperature, and as they warm up, that's why you notice a lot of our glasses, you palm it, because these are all meant to be sipped beers. They're anywhere from 10 to 16% alcohol. So they're meant to be sipped. You could do food pairings with them, but as they warm up, you're always going to get a different flavor and aroma.
More warm, more flavors, and more aroma. It's that simple. I like, this is so compleja, but it's so easy to drink.
I agree. I always love opening up this beer because I know I'm going to take my time with it. And it just takes me back to so many memories drinking the cocktail, because it mimics the cocktail a lot. And it always gives me the goosebumps. Next, we move on to Royal Street. This one's pretty unique. I brought in some beautiful 500-liter cognac barrels, aged beer, using about 49% of local white grape juice. So that's gonna be a very unique beer.
There are a lot of spices here.
Yeah.
Oh my God! The aroma.
Beer. Oh, I love this beer as well. I love every beer I make. But this is one of my favorite beers.
My God.
So this is our Royal Street. So this is based off a Sazerac cocktail, kind of created in New Orleans. So it was a cognac-based cocktail with absinthe. Absinthe has that star anise wormwood characteristic, that black licorice, and then aromatic bitters. And then eventually they started using rye whiskey in the blend as well. So this is a blend of a base beer aged in cognac, rye whiskey, and absinthe barrels. The cocktail is usually always rimmed with the lemon. So I added.
I taste a little
lemon.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of citrus orchards around here too. So we have some friends that get us a bunch of lemons, and there's a little bit of fresh lemon juice in there. And then we got double barrel Parabola. Parabola is what we're most known for. We've been making this beer for the longest amount of times. It's our big, thick, viscous imperial stout, traditionally aged in bourbon barrels. The one we're drinking today is our double barrel Parabola. So it spent 1 year in bourbon barrels. We took that liquid out of those bourbon, put that same liquid directly into a fresh batch of newly dumped bourbon. So it spent overall 2 years in barrel and came out about 16% alcohol.
This is the end of the night. This is the end of the
No, you want your dessert? You want a cigar?
Yeah.
By the fire.
In the coach.
That's exactly.
It's in the coach. Oh.
I mean, yeah. This is what we're. I mean, this is a big imperial stout.
Yes.
Aged in some of the best bourbon barrels that we could acquire. And like I said, most of the beers are on average about a year in barrel of the same barrel. This one is 2 years in total in 2 different sets. Easy drinking for 60%. You get your vanilla, toasted coconut. You get a lot of fudge, like chocolate.
Yes.
Roasted coffee or traditional, but everything's like on such a smooth level. Nothing's harsh or astringent. So, salud.
Gracias, Eric. Thank you so much.
De nada. My pleasure. Pleasure having you here today.